Walk that line, man.
I know you do.
Liked it.
I'm on the show. I haven't been beeped.
You're the host.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure you haven't been beeped?
On this show, I have not.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
On the 400th episode of Inebriart, my kids interviewed me, and Zoe started talking shit about him.
Oh, so
and Mr. talking shit about your kids.
No, Zoe started talking shit about Fish.
So Mr. Beep Control.
So he beeped it out, which makes it sound fucking way worse. It's super funny.
I like it.
Yeah, it was very good. It's a good
That's
joke.
great. I love that.
But welcome back to Bar Talk, where we talk about bar stuff.
The most censored podcast in America's hometown.
And we're here with Jess Hamill of
everywhere.
Places.
Hello.
Dan Mahoney of A Specific Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myself, Andy.
I like your hat.
Thanks, man.
It's upside down.
I don't even know which hat I have on anymore.
It's upside down.
The words are.
Stats.
Oh,
it's upside down.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah, dude, for like 2 years.
Is
Where
it?
the fuck
Someone
you
said
been
something
living in?
about. I just heard this like yesterday, and I'm like,
News travels slow under that bridge.
dude, I fucking spend my day.
Some would say
sitting
it
in
comes
the-
downstream to you.
I sit in the corner over there all day by myself.
He gets all of his news via pigeon carrier. Yeah.
And,
Not owl carrier, because I just re-listened to that episode the other day.
By message in a bottle.
And our editor Fish is here today.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's got a microphone.
So in full transparency, we recorded two probably I'm going to say the greatest podcast episodes ever recorded
They were
anywhere.
really good,
Yep.
honestly. And
Been
of course.
through
Of course.
some sort of computer issue. It could have been PepCAC, which is probably
I think because Fish wasn't here, he casted a spell that everything would just go wrong once you finish hitting record.
Yeah, so
You know, the greatest part of a job is the need for you. So Fish has to make sure we can't replace him.
yeah. But
Yeah, we're gonna have to put a pin in it.
yeah,
We'll circle
we'll
back.
circle back to those because like trying to record right after is
I know.
But you had issues getting here today with a fucking.
I did.
I thought you were just
Car
say she has
accident.
issues. I was like, wow, dude, I
I'm
thought we
always-
just talked about not being rude to people.
No.
I'm very open about my issues.
To people who aren't here, like she's
just
here to
cut that
defend herself. But like I was thinking on the way here today that we've lost a handful of episodes since we've been doing this in general, and it's just like
Oh,
that's
really?
kind of like the worst thing that can happen in a podcast if it just fucking goes away. And I'm like, oh, it's like let's talk about fucking work disasters. So
So we gotta call this the Jordan Shabbat episode.
Hold on, let me.
the one that jumped to mind for me is unbar related, but is fucking horrific.
Oh boy.
No one died. No one was injured.
How bad could it be?
Yet.
Well, let me explain.
Okay.
All right. Well.
So there's the gas stations at the Stop and Shops.
Yep.
Oh, was this the one that you? I think you already told the
Have
story.
I told this story?
Was
Yeah.
this the receipt paper?
No.
And like the cars all.
The
Oh,
water
yeah.
in the tank.
Yeah.
Risk cutting
Yeah.
sales right out
Christ,
from
I
them right
gotta,
now.
like get another contract for a new story.
Well,
yeah.
see
So
this.
for listeners who don't know, I was working at this gas station, and there's like a tank monitor that prints out a receipt when there's a delivery, but it also is supposed to let you know when there's water in the tank. We had a delivery overnight,
I still.
and they literally delivered us a tank load of water. And like the first car pulled away and died, and I'm like, oh, that fucking happens. And the second car pulled away, and I was like, well, that's weird. And then by the fourth car, I'm like, oh shit. And it was like, I don't know. It was the first thing in the morning. It just happened to be one of those sunny, beautiful days.
Yeah, of
Everyone's
course.
like waiting for you to open. So it was like a dozen cars.
I gotta go to the beach.
Rebuilding engines, getting rental cars for
Dude, that's
people. It was a fucking
fucked.
disaster.
That is. a
Which
disaster.
car did you think about? I don't really need this job, and you were just gonna clock out and leave and just never be seen again.
The problem was I really did need that job.
But like,
Not
you
enough
had
to
like,
change the receipt paper.
It had to go through your mind, like, dude, I fucked up. I'm probably getting fired. It's like, do I want to get yelled at?
Well,
I know,
the thing was, I
right?
didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I at no point was like, oh, I'm getting fired. Because I was
And
like,
how long ago was this?
Oh, the youthful
Like, how old are
ignorance.
So I was early 20. This was the reason why I needed the job is I had just moved out of my parents' house.
Sure.
Moved in with my girlfriend.
Sure.
This was my first full-time grown-up job.
Oh boy.
And
And look how that went.
yeah.
Fucked up
And now
five
you're
cars.
doing
When I quit, they tried to offer me more money to stay.
All right, listen.
Because it was an oversight, but I'm being a little defensive, I'll admit that, but it was definitely lack of training.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But it was real, and in the long run, it didn't cost Stop and Shop money because they basically, I don't know if they had to sue the delivery company, but the delivery company, they fucked up.
Yeah.
So
plus,
Yeah,
it
gonna
goes
trail it
back
back
to,
to the-
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
publicity.
Yeah, that's
No,
a hard word
yeah,
right there.
publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I stopped there for gas, and all I got was rusty water. You can't spin that in a good way.
They really meant the stop in Stop and Shop. Yeah. Hey! Dan, I'm surprised you didn't come up with that one.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
I mean, I already stumbled on one word, so I had to bring it back there for a minute, get the caffeine going through my
Yeah,
body.
that's true. That's true.
And I know,
Yeah.
like when you were at New World, there was the pipe burst in the ceiling.
No. That was the BBC.
Oh, I thought
So the Well, listen. There's plenty of other New World stories. It's
All
fine.
right.
No.
there was time there was water raining through the ceiling, wasn't
Yeah, that was the BBC. That was the raining. That was the raining in the dining room.
That didn't happen.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't think she was there
You're
for that.
100% right.
Where were you?
There
I'm sorry.
was.
I'm sorry. What?
Hold on.
I didn't hear what
You're
you just said.
30% right.
I'll still take it. I'll still take
No,
it.
but hold on.
Don't worry, I recorded it.
I'm just worried this is
But
gonna
hold
crash.
on. That just goes to show I have multiple raining in the dining room stories, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one at the BBC.
Yeah.
So the British Beer Company, they had in Cedarville, they used to have an apartment upstairs, which they then turned into their offices. But there was a small kitchen and a shower and a bathroom. It was used to be an apartment. But when they expanded, they moved their offices offsite. So no one was up there for a really long time. But everything was still in working order. And every now and then we had to just go upstairs and just check and make sure everything was fine.
Say hi to the ghosts.
Right. Yeah. Say hi to the ghosts. Make sure there's no homeless people up there. I don't know. Whatever.
Cedarville, no homeless can get that far.
That's fair. Yeah. The gastro doesn't go that far. But in the wintertime, the batteries in the thermostat had died. And we didn't know. Because,
so the
again,
heat
we only
never
go
kicked
up there
on.
every
Yeah,
now and then. So, the heat didn't kick on. So the pipes froze and they burst. It was, I want to say that it was a Sunday. Because why wouldn't it be? It would always be a Sunday that
Why
shit
would,
happens,
why would it be a
right?
Wednesday morning?
Yeah, right? Exactly. At 7:00, right in the middle of a dinner rush. And it started to rain in the dining room. And then it was also completely there's the fire panel that alerts the fire department when there's a fire. And that got wet. So then that shorts out, and then the fire department comes thinking there's a fire, and it's like, well, no, it's water. It's the opposite.
We need the
That
water
was
department.
yeah. And that was pretty bad. They had to evacuate everybody, and it was pretty bad. Although I will say good old fashioned BBC way, we turned it into a fun time because so the manager at the time, she was very inexperienced, so she didn't really know how to handle the situation. So of course she's texting me, she's texting my GM, which was Rob.
Yep.
At the time. And then texted Phil, the kitchen manager, and because she just in a panic starts texting everybody. I was out at
that's
Main
one of those
Street.
things, like,
I was
you-
drinking.
If you don't,
And I went, I have to go. I gotta go because Rob lived on the Cape, so I'm like, I don't even know if he can get there. Whatever. So we all swarm in, and now we're all just sitting there. So now everybody's there. All the bartenders and staff are gone, and we're just sitting there. And we're like, well, what do we do? So we all just sat and drank for hours and, and just made it, whatever. Because we were like, well, we're going to be shut down for a while. So let's come up with it. So we made a game plan. All right, what are we going to do? And we had beers and whatever. Then all of a sudden comes out of the kitchen and he has a giant bucket of water. And I go, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm just going to, and by the way, I can only say this because obviously this place is closed and the insurance has already been well and done. He starts throwing water at other places so that he can get insurance money for it. He goes, listen, if we're going to need new floors, might as well do these ones too. And he starts fucking throwing water everywhere. I was like,
Fair.
right? So,
I
yeah.
always liked him.
Yeah. The only thing I will say what really, 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 really sucked is that it was in December and it was really close to Christmas. So all
Yeah.
the staff was freaking out
Yep.
about
Their
Christmas
Christmas
money.
yeah.
And like we ended up only being closed for like 4 days.
Wow.
They moved real fast.
You
So,
do a lot
yeah.
of things with duct tape.
Yeah. Jesus.
This is a real British beer company.
Oh, you think
I was gonna say,
that they did anything different in any of those places than
I will
the one I
say-
worked at? You
I
were
will-
very mistaken.
Dude, for real. I will say, side note, so before I took the job that I have now, I interviewed for the place that took over the British Beer Company in Cedarville. And the owner was there, and, we were just shooting the shit, talking after, like, the interview's officially done and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I worked here for 4.5 years. He's like, oh my God, I totally forgot, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I have to apologize for the condition that this place was left in. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, we didn't have our own maintenance guy, so they called me Bob the Builder. So anything that looks weird, it was because of me. And he goes, yeah, there was a lot of stuff we had to fix. But yeah, that was very interesting. And then the other one was a very similar situation. The pipes had burst in the New World.
Yeah.
And it was a Sunday.
Oh, it was winter. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Sunday in February.
So this is the part where I was right.
Exactly.
All right.
So it was a Sunday.
30% right.
It was, and again,
I'll take it 30%.
and again, it
gonna
was a
beat this up.
Sunday because why wouldn't it be a fucking Sunday? And it luckily it happened like we opened at 8. It happened at like 8:30 in the morning. So like there was like one guy in there. So
Yeah.
like luckily like that wasn't, but whatever. Like I just remember showing up and it's like me, Carl, and Darlene and Bridget, and we're all just like what do we even do? Like. It wasn't just us, I guess. Like, it affected the pawn shop next door, too.
Yeah.
It was a fucking mess. Like, it was just like, it was wild. But I remember, like, Darlene calling me. She's like, there's a leak in the dining room. And I said,
Get a bucket.
well, and I did, because the way that she put it was that it was a leak in the dining room.
Right, so you're like-
not a geyser coming from the ceiling.
Yeah, it was a waterfall.
Right,
Yeah.
it was a waterfall. I remember taking videos of it, and I showed Matt. He's like, "What the fuck?" Yep. And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you just put a bucket underneath for now?" I was like, "I can come by in a bit and like check it out and see like what we can do." She's like, "No, it's like I can't do that." I go, "What do you mean you can't do a bucket? Like, what do you?" She just couldn't explain how bad it was.
Right,
and
right,
meanwhile, the fire alarms are going off in the background.
Yeah.
And I said, "Why is the fire alarm going off?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she starts panicking. But the night before, they were working on our fire panels.
So you're just like, oh.
So I just thought that they were going off because they were whatever. Like, that was a whole nightmare. This guy trying to come in and fix the electrical for the pawn shop, even though it's in our basement, on a Saturday night at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and he kept tripping the fuse, which was connected to the back room for the music. And meanwhile, the guys are trying to do sound check.
Yeah.
And every time the power would come back on, they're like, "Okay, everything's good." I'd go back there. I'm like, "All right, you guys are good for now." Like, whatever. So they start whatever.
Yeah.
And then it would just cut off and the speakers would blow. Not like blow to the point where they were broken, but it was like, and the sound guy comes out and he goes, if he fucking keeps doing that, he's like, he's going to fucking blow the speakers. And so I ran downstairs and I told the guy, I was like, "You got to stop doing that." I was like, "You need to come back at a different time. Like, this isn't even for my business.
Right.
This is for next door. You have to come back at a different time. You got to go." And he was so pissed off at me. And the next morning when we had our flood, he talked to the pawn shop guy and he called me a cunt. Because the pawn shop guy came over when he heard about the water and he's like, "Oh yeah, and he goes, "Oh, he called somebody here a cunt last night." And I go, "Was it me?" And he goes, "Were you working?" I'm like, "Yep." And I go, "Good, I'm glad I was a fucking cunt." Because this guy was like interfering with our business on a Saturday night.
And potentially fucking up your stuff.
Fucking up everything.
And he wouldn't pay for it.
And then guess who had to come in the next couple days, a couple days later to make sure our panel was working?
That guy?
The same fucking guy that called me a cunt. I'm like, really? Are you the only guy in town? Like, what? Why? Like,
That's awesome. It's so funny, like how shit like that happens. Always at the absolute worst
it's
point.
it's never on a Monday when you're closed. It's never during a day shift when no one's there.
I remember there was one time I got
always
a flat
a weekend.
tire, and it was beautiful out. There was plenty of room for me to pull over to the side of the road and change. Like, it was, I had nowhere to be, to the point where I'm like, this never fucking
Yeah, this is the perfect scenario.
This was like 20 years ago, and I still remember being like, "This
And
is
that tornado
fucking weird."
came.
Yeah, no,
Right, yeah.
no, it was perfect. Like I had a spare. Like, nothing
Yeah.
went wrong, and I'm like, almost the point where you're like driving home, being like, "I'm gonna die today."
I gotta go. No, it's either that or you gotta go hit the lottery.
Yeah,
So,
it was just like that. And, like I've changed tires, and then like the sky has opened
Yeah.
up. and
Yeah.
it's soaked. It's just-
Every time.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like it never happens where it's not a big like.
Yeah.
we were coming back
I
from
have so
an
many
event
stories.
we did. Where the hell was that? North Shore somewhere?
Oh
Amesbury?
God, like Amesbury or
Oh, God.
Salem or
The
something.
tire blew, so we have to take everything out of the trunk to get to the spare. It was my new car. First time I ever changed a tire on it. It had a locking bolt, which I was like, I hope we have
Oh
that.
yeah.
And we couldn't physically get the tire off. Like, it
Right.
was stuck.
Yeah.
I think I ended up.
You like donkey kicked the shit
I was-
out of it.
When I was there, I'm sitting there. I'm just like donkey kicking at the wheel. It's like if
Oh,
I
yeah.
kick it hard enough, at some point,
Yeah,
either it
it's
will
got
move,
to. It's got to move.
or my ankle will give out, and then we're fine.
Or the fucking car falls off the jack.
That was a possibility.
Dan, I'm not that strong.
I don't think it takes much on those things.
I don't have.
Dan, what are your? I mean, I know you have a bunch too. Any of your disaster stories?
I remember when I first started at BBC.
Downtown or
downtown?
Okay.
One of
End of story.
End of story. That's it.
And then
Town
he
was
there
never the
for-
same again. I had a delivery guy throw a keg down the stairs and smash my water heater. And it was- Yeah, but they didn't say anything. And then like hours later, I'm like, "There's no water." Go down the basement, just flooded because the tank emptied out. Yeah,
Oh.
so that happens. The water main broke. I think my first couple months there. It
Oh,
broke
was that
in
the string where like it broke like every other week or something like that?
It was doing that before I started.
Okay.
And then they supposedly fixed it, and then maybe like
Yeah, okay.
a couple weeks later, it fucking broke again.
That was that was such a fucking nightmare.
So the water main break, is that we said? That's
Yeah.
what, was it in the basement?
in the basement,
Yeah.
way back,
Oh, okay.
behind everything.
Yep. That basement, man.
Yeah,
I
it's haunted, man.
yeah.
By my
As
fucking
much as the
dreams.
New World basement sucks, that one sucks way more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Way more.
There's a random phone down there.
I know.
that just rings.
I know.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like you'll be sitting there like,
Wait, have you answered it?
no, don't know where it is. Dude, I'm no joke. Like you'll sit there
buried
and
behind
you just
everything.
hear like a phone, like an old phone bell. And I could not. It sounds like it's on the wall.
At this point, it probably is.
It probably like
Or
It's some old British guy that's just sitting in the wall
Yeah.
waiting for phone calls.
trying to order his fish and chips.
Look, it's either that or it's like the Speedwell's basement phone that it's the wall's too damn thin.
No, it's like I'm telling you, it's like
Yeah.
a bell ring.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I've heard it before because I was like, is that me or like, is that
Yeah,
real?
it's so it just sits
Like,
there and you just hear it like. I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
that? No, I never figured it out.
I think that we need to go on like a
I-
a
Ghost
mission. Yeah, ghost
I
hunt.
just desperately want to find that goddamn
Yeah.
phone number so I can call it at like,
I know.
random ass times.
There's a girl
Yeah.
on TikTok that she has a landline. She doesn't know what the phone number is, but she has like a skit where she answers the phone. She says the most outrageous stuff. It's like, you know, something about like the barbecue mortuary where, you know, you kill him, we grill him or something like that. Like,
Wait, why can't you just call your cell phone from the landline and then you get the fucking phone number?
she could, but like she
likes
makes
mystery?
a skit out of it.
Yeah.
Like
Got
she
it.
makes like a thing out. She's like, I don't know who has the number, but it's always like,
Yep.
you know, bill collectors
Yeah.
or like just people like soliciting shit. So
I worked at the phone company. I was a zero operator, if you can believe it. Like that was a thing.
He's not an
And-
operator at least anymore.
And
I could just see you like old timey, like in front of like with all the
With the
wires, like
wires.
plugging them out
Yeah,
and in and out. Hello.
but like I was a supervisor, so I sat at the supervisor desk where they'd pass like the difficult calls up to, and you had like the office phone.
They sent you difficult phone calls?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And dude, they suck.
Look, it was a different time, Jess.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's the office phone
Back
that
in the
had multiple,
1930s.
They had multiple lines, and if the second line rang, you knew it was like just someone misdialing a number. 'Cause
Okay.
that no one there really even knew what the number was. So, they called it in charge. So I was at in charge, and I was there with this girl Mary, and the second line rings. She picks it up and she hands it. This was for Verizon, and she hands me the phone. She goes, "It's AT&T."
Oh.
So I'm like, hello? And the woman's like, hello? I'm like, can I help you? And she like goes into her spiel. This is like changing your long distance service, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, and I want to talk to the person who's responsible for the long distance on the phone, and that's you. I'm like, that's me? So we're like going through this, and she's doing her whole spiel, and she's like, don't you think this would save you money? And I'm like, no. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I don't pay the long distance on this phone. And she's like, you don't? I'm like, no. Well, who does? And I'm like, Verizon. And she's like, why does Verizon? And I'm like, because it's a Verizon phone. You call the Verizon office.
It's funny that you mentioned water heaters because unfortunately I've had a couple of water heater stories as well. There was one that blew, and I won't mention it because, well, I mean, I could.
No, we don't do that.
I just really don't like this place, though.
That's fine.
I know. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
It's in Marshfield.
Do your research.
The water heater blew, and he didn't fix it for like over a week. And this was after I left. So Matt was still working there, and actually Amy was still working there too. And she quit because of this. I don't know if you guys were still living together at the time, but she walked in and she's like, "Oh, the dishwasher that they had behind the bar wasn't one of those ones that had like a heat reservoir where it like heats the water. It just uses hot water.
Yep.
So there's no hot water.
Using hot water.
So it wasn't using hot
So it
water.
wasn't sterilizing.
So it was just yeah. So they were using plastic cups.
Okay.
For the bar. Okay, but what about the
dishes.
fucking
Yeah.
dishes?
Yeah.
So they were boiling water and putting it in the 3-bay sinks, but they weren't like changing them out as much as they should. And then when it came to just anything hot water related, they just would have boiling water. And it was just because he was
Pot
a
of
cheap
boiling water.
fuck.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So technically, you're not. I mean, again, you're not supposed to be open if you don't have hot water,
Right.
in general. But then, no one could wash their hands properly, like guests or anybody. And I remember she walked in. It was a Sunday. She noticed that there wasn't any hot water, and the owner's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine. We're just gonna use plastic cups, blah blah blah." And she's like, "I quit." I'm not doing this. She walked out and she texted me. She's like, "I quit." And I go, "Good for you." I was like, "There's a reason why I left, a while ago, whatever." And I told Matt that story, and he didn't work for a couple of days, so he didn't have to experience it. But he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "That doesn't surprise me at all whatsoever." He's like, that's just the kind of people they are.
Yeah.
They just don't want to spend the money to fucking fix a water heater. Whereas there was one time, and I'll say this because it got fixed at New World, where the water heater blew, and luckily we weren't open. It was for lunch. We noticed during lunch.
Yeah.
So he got it fixed right away, and we were able to open for dinner. No problem.
Yep.
But that's what you're supposed to fucking
Yeah.
do. You
Yeah.
can't open if you don't have hot water.
Yeah. That makes me think of that moment. And I think it was 3 times within 2 weeks where the water main on Main Street.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna be my next story.
Tatum, the beer seller, sent me a photo, and the water was spraying dirt and rocks onto her window.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna break.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
And so half the restaurants on Main Street kept having to
Yeah.
shut down. And it was around October, so it was early fall.
Yeah.
And I remember that specifically because Jim Casey from Malabar was having a Halloween party, and I was running an event somewhere, and I stopped at the dollar store, and I'm like, I need a costume. So I knock on the door, and they open the door, and I have caution tape extra across me and little cones pinned to my shoulder. And Heather
"You're
goes,
road construction?
Are you Main Street? And I pulled a squirt gun out and shot him. I'm like,
Yes.
yes, I am.
That's a good one. Good for you. That was
And
a
then
good
the
one.
squirt guns leaked in my pocket.
Oh, well, that
you
tracks.
really were Main
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's not pee.
Yeah. I think recently I told about the fire in the walls. I just talked about that
Yeah,
not too long
yeah.
ago, so I won't go through that again. But yeah, fire. I've had to deal with water, fire.
What's the worst medical emergency you've ever had to deal with?
Somebody almost overdosed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
And I think we just recently talked about this too because nurses interjecting.
Yeah.
That was was and listen, the last
You
3
guys need
things
to work at shittier places.
Listen,
to
the
hear
last
stories.
3 things that I just mentioned.
Well, I have a plenty. It's just more of what I should tell.
Yeah. The last 3 things that I just mentioned all happened at the same place in a matter of 1 year, because that's all I worked there, because I went, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. The overdose thing, that was fucking wild. We've had a couple like minor medical situations happen in the back room at New World, because it just gets so hot back there.
Yep.
So like people will pass out, and it's always the older people, like they're on medication, they're drinking. Like I think I mentioned a story.
Out a month.
Yeah, literally. Like I think I mentioned a story once about like this guy that passed out, and he was still conscious and awake, but like some stupid drunk person was trying to give him CPR and like doing chest compressions, and she's like, and Bridget's like, he's alive. Stop giving him chest compressions. And then he came in a few days later to apologize, and he's like, man, my chest really hurts today.
I remember getting a phone call when I worked at BBC, and it was from John Morelli, who was like our director of entertainment.
I remember John. Yeah.
I was like, why is John calling me?
Yeah, that's
I don't have a
wild.
band or anything today. And he's like, hey, so I think you need to come down here because the bartender just fell down the trap door. Because she had left it open and wasn't paying attention and was doing something.
Who was it?
I don't know if I should tell her.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you off.
You can tell
just,
me
just in
after.
case.
That's
It's a her, so I'm going to narrow it down.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
Okay, I got 2 people in
For
mind.
our
All right.
listeners who don't know, the original British Beer Company has a little trap door in the floor.
Yeah.
And
That's where the
only
basement is.
recently have they put in like a swinging door so customers couldn't accidentally
There was
stop.
like one time there was like a little chain.
I remember they called me like, "Hey, the insurance company wants us to put up." I'm like, "Well, what the fuck do you want me to do?"
Yeah.
So that I got like
The little chain.
Yeah, I got a chain. Like I went to the hardware. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I don't do
It's
this.
a dollar. It's a dollar store.
And
like
not to
plastic
mention, there's
chain.
like where that is. There's a wall and then a metal cooler. I'm like, where the fuck am I attaching this to?
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, put a little swinging door in there now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Got a chain. Like I remember, it's like
Yeah,
literally
I'm
just low
surprised-
enough. Like it's if you keep going, you're just taking your knees out and going.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I'm surprised that it took the insurance companies that long to be like, yeah, you kind of got to block that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like even at New World, like when like we were doing like our annual inspection for the insurance company, like they were like, you got to put like yellow tape on the stairs that go up to the stage in the dining room. And I'm like, this place has been here for 13 fucking years and you're just telling us this now? Like what? Like it's just wild. And I think it's like just the more shit happens, the more they're like, oh yeah, I should probably do something about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like it doesn't come on people's radar until it happens.
I mean, I don't think it was like years after I had to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh. And that girl also wasn't the first person to fall down. the
Right.
stairs.
That's fair. That's 100%
I always said if I fell
fair.
down, just shut the door. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking go on with your day.
Yeah.
Just leave me.
Just leave me at the bottom of the creepy
Yeah.
ass stairs with like you got snacks down there, you got
Snacks.
beer, it's fine.
And it's always one of those like every time I'm there and like the door guy shows up, he like does some bar back shit.
yeah.
And it's just I'm like I can't believe this isn't like a weekly occurrence that people don't fall down. this
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Well, not to mention, too, that door is the heaviest
It's
fucking
really
door.
heavy.
And I've had that thing drop, and like, no joke, it was like this, like a fucking less than an inch away from smashing my head open. I would have been dead.
I'm really
Like,
glad you explained that because I mean, the
yeah.
motion- I'm like, is he gonna
Yeah.
say what he's doing?
Yeah, like as the producer, thank you, Dan, for
Explaining inches. Yeah.
not just holding your hands there on audio medium.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they put it down, you can tell it's fucking
Yeah.
heavy as shit.
Yeah,
I
it just slams down.
I can't imagine. Like, I guess, I mean, I've worked in the industry for so long, and I guess I just never realized like how insane an insurance policy must be for a bar.
Oh, yeah.
Like insane.
Covers
like
everything.
Like right, exact anything and everything. Illness, like people getting sick from maybe like food poisoning
Sure,
or
yeah.
slip and falls or just straight up falls or like tripping over like a tuff in the rug. Like it's like people will sue for anything.
I think there's less chances or there's less ways to get hurt in a battlefield than there are in a bar.
Seriously.
You at least know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing some sort of inebriate giveaway, and a bouncer for a local restaurant won, and I didn't have their contact info, So I reached out to the owner. I was like, hey, can I get so-and-so's contact? And they did the right thing. They're like, why?
They're like, no.
And me being me, I'm like, oh, my attorney wants to speak to them. And, I always like wait a few seconds and then said, like, no, just kidding, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, that was not cool. They're literally in court today over about the incident. I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry.
Womp
I'm
womp.
like, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, Andy.
I'm going to put a pin in this because I can't say this on air, but remind me to tell you a funny story about what happened this past weekend.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I just want to make a recorded mental
Somebody
note
remember
and
that,
whatever.
'cause I
Everyone remember that. It has to do
So
with,
for our
it has to do
listeners,
with lawsuits.
tune in about a year,
Yeah.
and then we'll be able to talk about it.
When Jess gets her next job, you can-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, this has nothing to do with my job.
Oh, okay.
This has nothing to do with my job.
We actually had it could have been a lot worse. We had someone fall at Art on the Green recently,
Oh, yeah.
and
What do you sue the grass?
this is the third injury at Art on the
Really?
Green. It is our most dangerous event.
Well, because it's downhill.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had one girl the first year. She like stepped down a step that's there, but wasn't really paying attention. And,
Where's
like,
Art on the Green?
Town Hall
Right in front
Green.
of Town Hall.
That's not that fucking steep of a hill.
I know, but it's enough.
Deep enough.
Yes.
It's also like it doesn't flow into the
It's not-
sidewalk at the foot.
Oh,
So there's
yeah.
like a step
It's just
down.
not
Yeah,
level.
but that's
And if you're expecting not to take a step down and there's no like set there,
yeah.
yeah, fuck up, fall off, and break your foot.
Yo, if my dogs can do it, fucking people can do it.
So the
Hold
girl
on.
who broke her
French
foot.
bulldogs are the most indestructible dogs on the face of the
That
planet.
is
They
not
can-
true. I can tell you from the neck surgery I had to pay
that's true.
for my dog
Hold
jumping
on.
off a
Yeah,
bed.
but Archie isn't 100% French bulldog, right?
No, but that's
exactly.
the other one.
See?
The
Okay,
French
yeah.
bulldog.
Oh,
Yeah.
Snarls? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, Snarls.
So the girl who broke her foot was a friend of ours, and she was like, "That was on me, whatever." The a couple years ago, I only found this out because I got a letter from an attorney, and I fucking freaked the fuck out.
Sure.
I'm like, "Am I getting sued? What the fuck's going on?" And it was like, "Don't destroy any evidence or photos." And I'm like, "What are we even talking?"
I know,
about?
right? Yeah.
And there was like,
Don't destroy the grass.
the dirt had settled
so too
into
late.
like
Sure.
a hole somewhere, and someone tripped and broke their ankle or something. They were suing the town,
Okay.
but like we were just by association part of it. And
Again, people
Don't-
will
don't
sue
fill in the
for
hole.
anything.
Destroy the
Yeah, don't fill the
well,
hole.
the thing was, I'm like, what evidence? What are we talking about? What do they think I have?
You go in
Did I
and you're like
delete the
putting
photo
cones
already?
around the
Yeah,
hole.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Did I
make
go to the
sure-
Air Force Base and throw my phone away? No.
Whoa! Not soon enough.
Can we at least wait until the end of the second trial?
I know.
before we make references
They're
about
closing today.
Listen, I can't believe I waited this long.
So then the most recent one was specifically because of the grade. And this woman, she's older. She had her back facing Main Street, and she stepped backwards, and there was like a little extra like turn to the end of the green, and she fell backwards and whacked her head on the concrete.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And so like everyone rushes over, and we were like
Try to give CPR.
Yeah, well, we're like, you all right, blah blah blah. And she's like, I think so. And you kind of do that laying there where you're like, all right, I think I feel everything. Everything's. And someone went to help her up. She's like, no, I'm not ready to move yet. And I knew her fairly well, and I was like, but our permit's only till 5. You have to get. And she laughed and called me an asshole and threatened to rip my beard off. I'm like, all right, you can't be that hurt.
Everything's fine. Everything
So,
else okay.
like, long story short, she's fine, and like
That's
I checked up
funny.
on her the next day. But it's just like, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Fucking, it happens so quick where you're just like, everything's wonderful,
And it's never like you always think when you think of like bars or restaurants or whatever, you always think like fights.
Yeah.
It's not always a fight. Like
Nope.
it's always the randomest shit and the randomest time and the randomest crap. And it's just, yeah, I mean, ugh. Like, I think I was talking to Teddy McGuire not too long ago. Someone was like, you should write a book of like all the stories that you have. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could write a book, but like,
Get a
so that
couple of Andy lawsuits.
and I said that to Teddy, and he goes, "Oh, well, that's when you just," and he starts like going through his process as how he wrote his book.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, you just have to like tell somebody, and they write it for you." And I was like, "I feel like it doesn't have the same effect as that when I tell a story, but okay, fine."
Yeah.
Well, it'd be way fucking shorter.
Way shorter. That's not gonna sell any books. I need a
and
long.
weirdly, the book will be quieter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in like
This book
bold,
reads too loud.
really large font. Yeah.
Someone's in the library. They open up the book. The library is like, shh.
It's like one of those greeting cards that play songs. Just his fucking cackle.
If you can't read the book from halfway across the room, it's
Yeah.
not authentic Jess
Listen,
Hamill.
exactly. Thank you. I love that you all know and understand me. Are we rounding second base? Third base?
I'd say second.
Fourth base?
Wait, don't fuck with me.
Are we going all the
There's
way?
no fourth base in baseball. I know that.
It's called home, buddy.
I know, yeah.
That's home. That's home
Right.
plate. It's not even a base.
Home base.
Whatever, dude.
Baseball's
Fish
dumb
is the only
anyway.
one that likes baseball around here, yeah.
God, Mahoney just wants to get off the podcast.
I'm the only one that shows up reliably.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Any other design? I don't.
I'm trying.
I
I've
can't think
had
of
like
any other.
to send a bunch of staff to the hospital for cutting themselves,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. and that's always
That's
fun.
a
'cause
huge one because
always busy.
Yeah, because like then it's like awkward for the staff, right? So like you cut yourself at work, you file workman's comp, like but you can't work. Like it's like it's weird, and then it's like okay, like that I want to come back to work, but like I also want to pay for my almost decapitated finger.
So I haven't had anything that bad where they missed like maybe a week,
Yeah,
and
there
it's
was-
always it's kids. They don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, there was a couple. There was like one or two incidences where like one girl didn't. Well, they weren't paying her, so she didn't come back. That's a different story. But like, you know what I mean? Like she was like, I want to come. Like I want to work. Like I like
Yeah.
working there. Like I want to come back. She's like, but they're not paying my workman's comp. So like for like the time that I missed. So like it's awkward for me. Like
Right,
to
right.
show up. So like, so she's like, I quit. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Because she like it was bad. Like she cut her fucking finger real fucking bad.
do you remember the kid? I think he was in Pembroke.
Adam?
He blew
Lit
the
his whole
pizza up.
fucking face on fire?
Was it the pizza oven that blew up? I
Yep.
think on him.
So the pilot
Yeah.
light.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the pilot light on the pizza oven was off, but the gas was on. So he went to go reignite the pilot light and whoosh, everything.
Yep.
But the funny story is
I
that
almost did that in my,
And
my
I don't-
house one time.
the
I
funny
think you were there for that.
yeah, the funny thing is that he like he'd worked. Well, I guess I'll say it off the air because I don't know if he listens to this, but he worked there for a really long time, and he knew what to do, but I don't think he knew to check the gas. Like,
Yeah.
that's not really when there's stuff out in the kitchen, like the first thing you do is just reignite the pilot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like, I would have never have thought to check the gas, and I don't think he had it. Like, I don't know if he knew how long the gas
Had built
was
up.
built up
Yeah.
for, how long it was out. But yeah,
And that's just
his
one of those things
whole
where like
arm, his
the
face,
thought
like
just doesn't
yeah,
pop into your head quick enough. Like
you're like, oh, it's out.
I was living over in Morton Park, and I'm pretty sure Fish was there. Someone else was there, and like walked in, and there was a funny smell, but it wasn't a gas smell. And I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And we're like walking around trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. And I walked up to the stove, and I just turned one of the burners on, and there was like a big
Yeah.
And one of the other burners turned on
Yep.
as well, and I was like, oh, I figured it out. And
his whole face is on
and
fire.
Fish is like, did you just fucking turn the? And I'm like, I didn't.
Sorry.
It didn't smell like gas.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it's a weird smell.
Well, there's some stuff that has no smell,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
carbon dioxide or whatever
Yeah.
But
This makes you sleepy.
it just makes me want to go nighty night forever. Yeah, and then there was a time that Nate in the kitchen at BBC in Cedarville like went to go make like the tortilla bowls that we serve chili in, and they were just regular round flour tortillas. And there's a thing that you can use to like put it in like a basket so it shapes it, but we didn't have one, so he just took like one of those really long whisks and he would push
yeah.
it down into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fry later oil, and he's talking, he's not paying attention, and one of the tortillas started to blow up and bubble, and then it burst, and he like hot fryer oil all up his arm.
Yep.
And I remember and it was like second degree burns, like
Yeah.
possibly a few third, like it was bad. And so I was like, dude, you got to go to the hospital. It's like, you got to he didn't have a car at the time. So I was like, I'll bring you. It's fine. Like, I'll bring you to the hospital. And he's like, no, it's okay. And he just wraps it up in gauze and like just keeps working. And I was like, They don't make you like that anymore. Like, they don't, like, everybody would just be like, I gotta go home.
That's like old school.
Yeah.
And in fairness,
He was really young, too. Like, he was really young.
younger
Like,
than us.
He was like 22 at the time, 23.
Yeah.
I stand by that they probably shouldn't make them like that anymore.
I like a little medium. Like they're a little too
medium.
soft
Yeah.
nowadays.
All I'm saying
Too
is,
soft.
He's a
Getting
medium.
soft.
all I'm saying is,
It eats more dirt.
third
Rub
degree
some dirt
burns
on it.
means we should probably take you to a
Pop
hospital.
those bubbles, squeeze out the ooze, and just get back to work.
The secret sauce.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get a good point across. So we're
Yeah.
just gonna keep
Whatever
going.
you say is
It-
null and
yeah,
void.
When I had to deal with that shit, it was funny how many injuries went unreported
Oh, yeah.
because at Depot it was.
I like him trying to make it sound cool. It's a Depot,
Well, I'm just
bro.
trying. I was like trying not to like mention where it was.
Club
or something.
Depot.
You guys give me shit all the time. But if you got injured,
They serve the
the
drinks
HD.
in orange buckets.
but if they injured you, if they
injured you, whoa!
if
Is
you
that
got
kind of club,
injured-
Andy?
if you got
That's
injured,
BDSM.
it was
Yeah.
always like almost like they were looking for reasons to not have to do workman's comp. So like,
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you
of
got
course.
injured, you
Of
gotta like
course.
jump through all these hoops, including like go for a drug test.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, like immediately. Like the supervisor had to take you.
Yeah,
to
so
the
you're
hospital.
bleeding on the floor and like, listen,
Well,
we need you to pee into this cup.
While they're feeding you this special brownie that tastes kind of weird.
But the number of people that would get hurt and be like, "Well, I'm not going to pass a drug test," so they just don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's a good system, I
Yikes,
guess.
that's
You know,
wild.
trying to save a buck
I guess.
Yeah.
at the depot.
Yeah.
Club Deeps.
Club deep.
Yeah. I mean,
Come hang
It's-
on our
it's-
party
it's-
sheds.
yeah, it's fucking wild. Some of the shit that like just people and and maybe they know about it or maybe they don't, but it's just like the shit that we see on the regular that people just don't fucking know about.
Yeah.
It's just unreal, unbelievable. I will say there was a funny moment when in the kitchen at New World there's like a step that goes up like when you go out of the line. And there's a step up.
Because that's what you want in the kitchen. is
Well,
step.
listen. That building is old as fuck.
Oh, I know.
So,
It's not the New World's fault, but it's,
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's like a step up. But this kid had worked there for years, and only just until like I think a few months before he left did he trip and fall on that step. So it's like you're there forever, and you know the step is there, and
Yeah.
you always take it. He just like I don't know what it was. He just had a moment, and he fucking fell like face first on like. On the tile floor. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I went, oh man, I can't wait to pull up the footage on that. So I pulled it up and I'm like watching, and I was like, boom. I was like, all of us were like, oh! He fucking smacked his face on the fucking ground. And there's like
that is
fights where like I've pulled up the footage. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to see
Oh,
this.
dude, my
one.
camera roll's got some good videos.
I know.
that is the new like
They're not meant for the public.
Yeah.
the new thing, and like I mean, a lot of it makes the fucking internet. If you're,
Oh yeah.
you know, just the dumb, crazy shit that
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
A lot of people say that like cameras in your restaurant aren't good for your insurance because of like situations like fights or like anything like that. There's proof of what happened if you didn't do something that you should have done.
Right.
So it's like a catch-22 to have cameras.
But it's
in your
also
place.
good in the sense like if you did everything you're supposed to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
It's
yeah.
like because then that point's your word versus theirs.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
for sure. There's
So,
definitely
so if you're the kind of restaurant to cut corners,
yeah,
and not do the
yeah,
right thing,
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe you should reconsider.
Yeah.
cameras.
Well, there was
the
a
fake
place.
ones.
Well, there was a place in Marshfield that I worked at, and we had cameras, and they like
Made of Legos.
they did not work for a long time.
Yeah.
And then there was an incident that happened, and the you know the police were like, oh, like we just need to see the footage, and like, oh, we don't have it anymore. It's like, yeah, because you just didn't want to pay to fix the camera, like to fix the cameras. But it did come in handy once that the cameras were actually fixed. There was like a guy that was like, he was fucking coked out of his mind, and he used to be a regular there, and he was just fucked, and he started trying to fight with like the staff. Like he just looked at the door guy looked at me wrong, and he fucking like tried to fight him.
Yeah.
And I remember Matt like he comes out from behind the bar. He grabs this guy in a headlock, and then the guy tries to move, and he just goes whoosh, and he fucking like body slams him on the floor because he tries to like turn around and attack Matt.
Yeah.
And so he tries to sue the restaurant, the bouncer, and Matt.
Yeah.
And the police come like the next day, like after the lawsuit's filed, whatever. And he looks at the camera and he goes, "You guys didn't do anything wrong. Like, you did nothing wrong." That guy was going nuts. Like, he was just going crazy. And I just remember all standing in the office, like watching the video, and the cop's like, he's like laughing to himself, but he's like, he knows he can't laugh out loud.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, he's like, "Nah, you guys are fine." I was like, "Okay, good."
And like you said, the cameras didn't work, but there's so many places that they're just show.
Oh yeah.
Like in retail, like they have those little globes, like half of those are empty.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like I love the ones where like there's a camera in your face with like a monitor showing you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a self checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah, self checkout, but like there's like certain places in retail locations that, you know, near high theft items, like if you go to CVS,
Yep.
there's like a little
Yeah.
monitor over the
Like
camera.
in the makeup mascara
And you're
section.
looking
I'm
at it
like,
going,
bro.
I know that's only showing me.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not being recorded. This is stupid.
I'm not going to steal your nail polish. Chill out.
That's how I get all my nail polish.
Yeah, well,
He doesn't steal it, he just sniffs
it's
it.
when he goes to the Depot Club and he gets all dolled up
Club
and he puts
Deeps.
his nail polish on and it's bright orange. It's like Home Depot orange. Yeah.
I guess we know what Jess's last call plug is.
I am mostly now questioning the color of the old Colony Cast hats.
Ooh, in the bucket that he's got right next to him.
Well, I didn't get to choose the bucket.
His
What
safety
do you mean
bucket.
you get to choose the bucket? You
it
buy
was-
the bucket.
Yeah, but the bucket was full of something. Like
You like the bucket was already here?
I just
always been here, Jess.
Yeah.
So I think that's last call.
Yeah.
It's the part of the podcast where we go around the.
What a depressing, like, just like disasters of a episode. Like, let's just talk about some of the worst times of
for
our.
depressing, we laughed an awful
I would
lot,
say, I was about to say.
which I think talks about.
Like, short of death, that
yeah.
was pretty, you know.
Well, thankfully, we
Yeah,
didn't
like,
have to
listen.
report any of that.
Hold on,
yeah.
where's wood? Is this wood? I
It's
just want to knock
IKEA,
on
it might
something.
be.
I work in a place where there's a lot of old people. I don't want to have death be on there.
So this part where we go around, we get to plug whatever we want, and since he's here, we're gonna start with fish.
I know. Fish.
Right, so, I
Oh, boy.
looked up this episode was going live on Juneteenth, so I would like to say happy Juneteenth to everyone.
Oh, I thought that was going to take a dark turn. I'm sorry. I was like, what are we saying? I was like, what are we saying?
Wow.
I'm just, listen, with things going on right now, I didn't know where you were going.
Holy.
We're used to the fourth guy being Carl. So.
That is fair. Yeah.
where you're just like, I don't know what he's about to say.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, guys.
Not
You
guys,
met me?
Jess.
I know.
Just Jess.
It's just me.
I mean, holy shit, Jess.
Holy shit, woman.
Holy shit, this specific person
Yeah.
in
In the room.
like it is not a referendum on women, it's a referendum on Jess.
Yeah, I don't identify me with just anybody. It's just
No,
me.
you're a unicorn of what the fuck.
Thank you.
Someone's ever said to you.
I think I'm going to get that sweatshirt made and be like, a unicorn of what the fuck. I love that.
All right, I'm gonna.
Wow, this episode is brought to you by.
You know, if I get 10% for that, we're
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, he got 30% earlier. You got 10%. We're working our way up to 100.
We're doing some math. All right, that's all.
Yeah.
I got.
All right.
Word.
Unicorn, go ahead.
All right. This episode is brought to you by vodka seltzers because that's what I've been drinking today. Because if you're not drinking vodka seltzer and you're drinking just seltzer, what the fuck are you doing? Because who drinks just seltzer?
Do they have non-alcoholic White Claws?
Yeah, I know. That's just
Wait, what?
seltzer. Yes, they do. Yes.
That
Yes, they do.
I'll give you next episode.
That makes zero sense. But
I asked for like this was a while back. I asked for a non-alcoholic cider for like a guest, and they were like, "Oh, that's just apple juice." And I was like, "Well, I mean, no, like like Down East cider, like that's
also
like
kinda-
a unique flavor, like whatever."
Well, I figure it's like apple cider's like cloudy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just whatever. So anyway, so I was like, well, it's and then like in the same like conversation, he's like, well, we do have non-alcoholic White Claws. I go, you just gave me shit about non-alcoholic ciders, but you're gonna fucking try and sell me non-alcoholic seltzers? It's like, what is your fucking
Pay
problem?
$10 for a soda water.
Literally.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not non-alcoholing it.
That was a word.
We're least not surprised by that at all.
I am wearing my day drinking hat
yeah.
today, so I had to show up in true
I liked
fashion.
it. I noticed the hat. I liked it.
I made it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Dan?
So, as Fish said, it's the month of June, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness. And you should take this time to check on Fish and Jordan for their Red Sox that keep building them up.
I knew there was a turn
And
coming.
they make it think they're going to be good, and then they suck balls again. And they just get roped in every time.
Check in on your.
So check in because they might be killing themselves
Yep.
soon.
Yep.
Baseball's a long season. So
As his Fish is wearing, and he's is wearing his baseball.
that hat used to be a different color until he cried so many times into it. It's bleached by
But he
salt
usually
tears.
wears his little pheasant hat,
Yeah,
and now he's wearing his Red Sox hat.
because they beat the Yankees,
They did.
but then lost to Tampa Bay the
Oh,
next
well
day
then,
because
yeah.
they
And
suck.
beat Tampa Bay the next day.
But Tampa stinks.
He's like, yeah, but they won. They
won a
one game.
I like how Fish is like, happy Juneteenth. Dan is like, look out for guys, and made it a little bit of a joke. And Jess is like, I like seltzers.
Booze.
All right. Well,
I
I'm
thought
gonna.
that was starting off way too soft for you, and I'm just staring at you going, when is this turning? When is this turning? When is this turning?
Holy shit.
No, I'm sitting there with
Dan, are you okay?
Are you trying to tell us something, buddy?
I don't know. If
He's
you
going to start giving all his stuff away, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Look, I don't know if you could see it, but as soon as my name came out, my anxiety spiked. I'm like, fuck. Well, I don't know why, but
I was too focused on Dan.
Come on, the shoe's always going to drop,
Listen,
guys.
I
It's
know.
just where-
I was
I
waiting.
know. I just didn't know I was under the shoe until it was too late.
until you found out it was you.
Ew.
So I am going to plug a new inebriart event. So August 23rd, we are hosting Putt Putt Punk. It
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
we talked about this.
punk
Yeah.
rock show at a mini golf course.
That's
Okay.
sick. Love it.
Tickets are going to be $35, includes the show and a round of golf.
When is it?
Do they play
August
on the mini golf
23rd.
course?
They play right next to it.
I was hoping
August
like it'd be
23rd.
on those
They play-
mountains with the fake volcanoes.
If they
That's
play
it.
on it, then
That'd
you
be
wouldn't be able to play the golf.
I would be fine with that.
August 23rd. I'm
August
going to put
23rd.
it in my calendar.
And we're going to have Tommy Reedy's going to open. We are going to have Cheryl's Boys. And then the Trichomes are going to be the headliner.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Where is it again?
Thank you. Good question. It's at Starland Sports Plus
Oh, yeah. Starling.
in Hanover. And there's
Love
also
it.
rock climbing right there. And
Rock and roll climbing, if you
Rock
know what I
and roll
mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing this just so I can make a shirt that says punk rock with balls.
Well, you know.
I mean, come on. And there's go-karts there, but that's not included in the price of admission. So
Oh, why do you have to bring us down like that? You
you can do
you
it.
had us
You can
going.
do it. I'm just trying to make it clear. You know, you don't want someone showing up and be like, I wanted to do the go-kart. Why can't I do the go? You know, that shit.
Yep.
So, but it should be a fun night.
Do you get the
Sick.
mosh pit in the go karts? Like you smoke each other into the
dude.
walls.
So in the conversation with Starland, they're like, our only concern is moshing. I'm like, my only concern is people moshing with golf clubs in their hands.
There's gonna be a lot of air guitars on those.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it should be a good time.
What time is it?
Door at 6, show at 7.
Love that.
This is so new. Like the ticket link isn't even up, but it should be up
We
soon.
got the
It'll probably
first
be up by the
exclusive.
time this episode. Was this when it's?
Yeah, in like 5
What day
years.
is today? Next week? I'm gonna say.
Saw like
I'm gonna put
Fish gave you the date and everything in his opening statement.
Dan, what makes you think I listen to anything
I know.
he says?
I was
lucky
just
he
made
has a
another Kyrie
microphone.
joke, but I figured one episode's good.
But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put some pressure on myself and say the ticket link will be up by the time this airs. So
Dude, sick.
yeah,
I'll probably be there.
sure. It's gonna
Do
be
they
super
allow
fun.
dogs?
I'm gonna say no
I'm going to say no.
because I feel like that's not a good thing.
I know.
I mean, I like dogs. I'm just.
I know. I just
You can
wanna-
sit in the Dairy Queen parking lot with
Oh,
Steel. and
yeah,
listen
across
to
the
it.
street.
Right
Yeah.
next door. Not even.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I just want to be my punk dog.
I should probably do the closing, huh? You can email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com with all your questions, complaint, hate mail.
Have we gotten any hate mail?
No.
I think I need.
I'll start
We
with
haven't
you
gotten
something.
any, like, anything.
I think I'm gonna make flyers that say, "Just send me hate mail, just for no reason at all whatsoever. You don't even
I
know
was
what
thinking
it's
about
for."
getting, like, coasters made
Oh,
and then just, like, putting them in places.
You should make them with
That'd be
Jess's
sick.
face on Uncle Sam's body. So
yeah.
then it's just,
I want
hate
you to send me hate mail.
I'll just say,
Bar
I
Talk
hate you.
And you can find us on all socials at Bar Talkcast.
All right,
It
word.
sounded like you just said bar talk ass, and I was like, that's not the fucking social, bro. That's something else.
Talk ass.
Bar
Only
talk
on
ass.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Andy's OnlyFans.
It's Bar Talk. It's all our OnlyFans. And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/inebriart to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at inebriart or at inebriart6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebriart, and all the other shows on the Inebriart Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. Thanks again for listening.